Music producers, it's Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com, and I'm here today to show you 5 different ways to improve your workflow within FL Studio 20. Let's talk about it. Music producers, let's just call this week FL Studio Week. I'm going to be doing tutorials all week. If you have any tutorials that you want me to do, please go to the comments below, leave a question, whatever you want me to cover, I will cover. Something maybe you heard in my beats. I'm going to be dropping a lot of FL Studio tutorials this week, specifically because I just released my FL Studio Beginners course, or I should say I rebranded and upgraded my FL Studio 20 Beginners course. I call it the Fluid Music Producer. And if you want to get more information, just go to teachmeflstudio.com. Other than that, let's get over here. I have 5 different ways that I want to show you how to improve your workflow. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Basically, how to speed the process up as you're making beats. Sometimes we do things and we waste a lot of valuable time, especially when our creativity is going strong. I don't know if you've ever been there where you start on a beat and you really got the feeling like, man, I want to mess with these drums. I got this new VST. I got some crazy stuff I want to do. And then you just kind of lose the feeling after a while. That's probably because your workflow is a little bit too complicated. You got too many things going on. Whatever the case may be, here is 5 things that I have found that have improved my workflow dramatically. Workflow improvement number 1. It was actually a mistake. When I first signed up for Splice, I didn't know that they separate your drums into multiple folders. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit frustrated with the process of having to go through 5 folders to get to one kick drum. So I was like, no. I'm about to make one massive folder for nothing but my drums. So if you see this right here, I'm going to show you what it actually looks like. I have a Splice Kits folder, which is really my go-to for any drums. All these claps are claps that I got from multiple kits. And they're all claps that I specifically have sat with in the actual Splice players. And I said, no, this is the one that I want. So at some point in time, I had to be very passionate about these sounds. What does that mean? When I'm working on a beat, if I'm inserting these sounds, sort of like this, say I want to replace this clap, and I just kind of have this in here, it's easy for me to just basically go here. And I know these are all going to be claps that I actually really like. Same thing for kicks or snares or whatever that you're using. Combine all of your sounds. I know it may sound crazy, especially if you have a lot, but you might actually want to go back through a lot of sounds and see if you even want them anymore. This really improved my workflow crazy. Workflow improvement number 2. You gotta get used to some of these FL Studio hotkeys. Now, what are the hotkeys? Basically, if you go to your keyboard, there are certain keys that if you press them together, I can't believe I'm explaining this, but some people just don't know. If you press certain keys together, they trigger an action. For instance, if I go here to the playlist, say I don't wanna have this pattern in here anymore, say I messed up, I can go to Control X or Control Z. Control Alt Z to get rid of this stuff. It's good to know your hotkeys, especially when you're talking about hi-hats. Let's go on the hi-hats. Let me throw my headphones on. Let me show you something. So, something I like to do, highlight all of these, then push Control L. Control L obviously extends them out. For some reason, this bad boy's not. Now, say you want to add a roll to these hi-hats. Control U should be your best friend. So if you go up here to the snap feature, I like to use the 1/3 a lot to kind of show this effect. Grab that select tool, and let me see where my snares are at. Kind of want to get that. So if I go push Control U, let's mess with this one a little bit more. Control U has served me right. Get used to your hotkeys because those will become your best friends, especially when you start getting that motion, you start getting that mojo. You don't want to lose that. Workflow improvement number 3. Make sure you set up presets for every one of your individual sounds, especially if you have a certain special technique when it comes to your kicks, snares, hi-hats, pads, whatever you're using. Set up presets for you. I cannot stress that enough. So for instance, here I have a kick, and I know that this preset that I have for this kick, right? I know that even though that kick sounds decent, I have a preset that I always go to in my parametric equalizer too. So basically, if I right click here, you see all these presets that I have. I even have presets from some of my beats that I've done before, like Birds is right here. I got this Alexa Luger one from years and years ago for 808s. I got these Busyworks ones from the courses that I've took before from him, as well as these drum Drake effects. I got many different presets. Why? Because I know that these presets are going to give me the sound that I want immediately. That being said, I have a trap kick boost that's going to immediately give this kick some life. That's before, and this is after. Yay. Having presets will save you so much time, especially if you're not one that likes to sit there for hours on end, just technically tweaking everything within your beat. Set up some presets. If you want to know how to save them, like say for instance, we started from scratch. Let's go to the default and say we just... Now say we wanted to save that, all you got to do is go over here to the plugin options and then save preset as. Boom. Now all of a sudden you can just save it to whatever you want it to be. Workflow improvement number 4. Did you know that you can save your scores, your piano chords, your hi-hat rolls? You can save your patterns in the piano roll with a function called save score. These are scores that you're creating within your piano roll. Why shouldn't you be able to save them and possibly take them over to another FL Studio session? Now say you want to take these chords that you have from one beat, say you want to take these hi-hats, all you got to do, I don't know why anybody would want to save that chord progression, but I just put it together for this example. However, if you wanted to save this, go here to the piano roll options, go to File, and Save Score As. Okay? Now this is going to be saved into my scores. Let's just say weak chords. Now I can open that up in whatever session I want. So say we just open a new one up. All I got to do is just open up another FL Studio. Let's go ahead and use FL Keys again. Open up FL Keys. Let's get the Rhodes. Go to Piano Roll. Go to File. Open Score. Weak chords. Bring them back. Saving scores can save your life, fam. Okay, I'm being dramatic, but it could save a couple of your compositions. Keep in mind, the same thing applies for some of your hi-hats. Maybe you want to give your boy some hi-hat rolls or a template because his beats just don't have hi-hats that it got the... They just can't do it. You want to help your boy out. Here's how you do it. Say I wanted to save that. I go to File, once again, Save Score As. My boy needs some hi-hats. Now your boy has some hi-hats because of that score that you just created. You're a good friend. And the final workflow improvement that I would suggest to you for any version of FL Studio. Man, this is one of the best ones that I use. But if you go to Options, and then you go to Project Info, boom, it tells you right here. The project started on this particular date, and 18 minutes is how long you've been working on this beat. What I suggest that you do, go to a few of your beats that you know are just like flames, like not the one that's like kind of like, I mean the one that's like, whoosh, like Daseem, like, okay, you get the picture. And see how much time that you spent on them. Do an average, and I would suggest that whatever that average number is, you should start making beats within that time frame and just let your mind go. Stop overthinking the process. Either way, that was 5 ways to help you with your workflow and improve the speed of your beats. Look, it's not how fast you make it, it's about the end product. For those of you that enjoyed this tutorial, I got a full online course out right now called The Fluid Music Producer. If you go to teachmeflstudio.com, you can get more information about that. I would love to be your instructor. Either way, if you got more questions and things that you want me to help you with in FL Studio, leave a comment below and we'll get to it as soon as possible. Either way, it's your friend Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com. Peace. Please subscribe to the channel below, Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.